guys, it's Tesla Ariell here, and in this video we're gonna talk about the new streamlined changes that Tesla made to the order page of the Model S and the X, and also why one little change that they did is extremely important, and why it will definitely affect the sales of the Model S right here in Canada, where I'm from. Alright, so now let's go on to the order page of Tesla. Now let's go on my screen. There you go. Alright, so now we're at the Tesla website, and on this website you can configure your Tesla Model S, Model X, Model 3, solar panels, cool, right? But let's now focus on the Model S, where I believe the biggest change has happened. So let's go on the Model S, order now, click that, and let me do a quick clap just to sync the videos. There you go. Alright, so now let's look at the Model S. Let's change this to cash. What you can see here is that the premium package, I believe they made it standard in the last update, so that's fine. Autopilot, they revised the pricing to be $6,600, and it's more expensive now after delivery. And after delivery, prices are subject to change. Interesting. So another thing is that I don't think they include the 400 kilowatt hours of charging for free anymore, and they don't have the free lifetime supercharging, and they have the premium connectivity for just 1 year. After that, you will have to pay for the satellite maps, the streaming media. So in our cars, when we got our Model S 2 years ago and Model X 1 year ago, that was included for the life of the car, so we're more than happy with that. The biggest change, so in terms of paint colors, you don't have the silver and the obsidian black anymore. So aside from that, they've just continuously narrowed down the color selection, so you don't have as much choice. In terms of the wheels, you could not order like the silver turbine wheels anymore. I mean, that's fine, but let's go back to that initial, there's the screen, there's this image of the car here. You cannot have the sunroof on the Model S anymore. So you can say, oh, I've never used a sunroof anyway, but so that's not a big deal for me. But guess what? Here in Canada, especially here in Alberta, people like winter sports. People like driving up to the mountains to go skiing and snowboarding. And what that means, if you're getting a car like this, you would need a roof rack. So with the Tesla Model S, in this configuration with this glass roof, there's no ability to put a roof rack on. In the Model X, in order to, let me just create a new tab here. In order to have a roof rack, you would have to do something funny with the Model X. Instead of having the roof racks on top of the roof, you would need to attach it to your trailer hitch, buy a separate attachment, and put your snowboards and skis like this, rather than on top of the car. So in order to transport skis and snowboards, you would need to get the Model X, and it's still not on top of the roof. For those in California, it means you can't put a surfboard on top of the car anymore. I don't know how you feel about that, but to me, this is a huge deal, but I believe Tesla will find a solution to this, and maybe add some attachments so you can put the whisk bars or the roof racks on the Model S as well. So yeah, and another thing they did was they removed the multi-pattern black seat interior like what we have in our Model S, and they made the black leather interior standard, and now they have the black and white and cream premium as upgrades. And of course they increased the base price of the car. So now if you want to get a Model S with autopilot, you are looking at, let's see, with the black color, the only option basically, we're not picking any options, basically just the autopilot, right? So 19-inch wheels, good. So you're going to look at $109,000. So we got our own Model S for $94,000, but we paid the extra for the unlock to the 75D as it was a 60D before, and we paid extra also for the upgrade to the high amperage charging, which made it go from 48 amps to 72 amps. And that is the biggest thing that I will discuss later, why it's important. So now let's quickly go over the Model X. So with the Model X, excuse my loading, let's go to custom order. Let's take a look at how much it would cost to do a 75D or 100D Model X. So most people just pick the 7-seat interior. That's actually cheaper than the 6-seat because the middle 2 seats here are power seats. In this, it's not a power seat, it's like a manual latch. Let's change this to cash. Include the documentation regulatory fee. So with the autopilot, 7 seats, premium package is standard now, black color, black interior, you're looking at $139,600 for the Model X. So we got our car around $132,000, but that was a 90D. Configured this way, and it's not black, it was white. So probably saved we still have a savings of $10,000 between the 90D to the 100D. Should we have upgraded to the 100D? Would you have paid an extra $10,000 for maybe 70 kilometers of range? Let me know in the comment section below what you feel. But in my own opinion, I'm fine with the 90D. But anyway, now over here in the Tesla Owners Worldwide group, there was another post here. It says 48 amp onboard chargers are also standard now, regardless of battery size. 72 amp is for single phase markets only. So in this case, he also said that very few people ever charge over 48 amps, and it's plenty fast for an overnight charge, even on 100 pack batteries. And this is my response. We use 72 amps a lot. Okay? In Canada, Tesla apparently forgot about Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and in the US, they left out Great Falls, Montana from the Supercharger network. So we desperately need the high-powered wall charger, in some places. So in here, I explained that an 8-hour trip in an ICE, for example, our prior Prius, right, turns into 18 hours. So that's 8 hours driving, 10 hours charging. But with 72 amp charging, goes down to a more tolerable 13 hours only, quote unquote, needing 5 hours charging split between 2 stops. 48 amps is not plenty fast enough for prairie Canadians. Let me explain. So let's go to this Supercharger Map. We use supercharge.info. So if you drive, I'm from Calgary area, actually Chestermere right outside. We drive to Edmonton regularly, so we're fine. It's covered by the Supercharger network. But if we go down to Vancouver, we also have the Supercharger network, and that's fine. But as prairie people, we go from Calgary to Regina quite a bit. So, and I know people from Edmonton, they like going to Saskatoon as well. Maybe a family, friends that you visit, certain shops, or maybe you want to go to a lake somewhere in Saskatchewan. Who knows, right? Or go to Winnipeg. This will take 8 hours in our Prius, but in our Tesla Model S with the 72 amp charger, when we took it, we can charge 2.5 hours here in Medicine Hat, and then make it to Swift Current, charge another 2.5 to 3 hours, and then we make it to Regina. But when we did this trip in our Tesla Model X, which had the 48 amp charging, we went from Calgary. We did a charge at Brooks first, and then we stayed there for 3 hours, and then we stayed another 5 hours in Medicine Hat, and then we went to Swift Current. I think we stayed another 3 hours or 4 hours in Medicine Hat, and then in Swift Current we charged for another like 4 or 5 hours, and then in Moose Jaw we did a top-up. So all in all, it was around 10-11 hours of charging. So in essence, an 8-hour ICE car trip took 18 hours with only the 48 amp charging. So that we did that, because I'm drunk on the Tesla Kool-Aid. Let me more. That's how it is, right? I'm drunk on the Tesla Kool-Aid. But for someone who still hasn't made the switch, and I'm trying to convince them to go electric, go Tesla, I can't tell them, hey, you know what? Although it's an 8-hour trip, you just only have to add 5 hours. It's not only 5 hours, right? So that's my thing. So that's one example. Another thing is that we do not have a supercharger here in Great Falls connecting Fort Macleod to Butte. So if you have the 72 amp charging, you can do a top up here in Great Falls. It makes a difference actually, whether you have 48 amp or 72 amp. It means that you can leave a little bit earlier in the morning at the hotel if you have the 72 amp, but if you have the 48 amp, you will have to wait probably till 10 a.m. if you arrive at night in Great Falls. So it does make a difference, yeah. But if you travel in the supercharger network exclusively, then hats off to you. The 48 amp charger is sufficient because it's DC when you DC fast charging when you go on the supercharger network, where you do not need to worry about using the 48 amp or 72 amp charger. All right, so that concludes this video. So I hope you learned about the different streamlining of the. I hope you learned about the streamlining of the order process of a Tesla Model S and X, and this one little change that they did, which could be a deal. Actually, no, two deal breakers. So number one is the lack of the sunroof. Number two is the lack of the 72 amp charging. Especially for us Canadians here in Western Canada. I am more than happy that I purchased my Tesla Model S when I did. Let me know your thoughts. Would this be a deal breaker for you, the inability to have a sunroof and the inability to do the 72 amp charging? Or maybe the lack of superchargers in Saskatchewan and Manitoba at this time, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. Please click the thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the video description below. Again, thank you for watching. Bye! Inorbis provides intercity transportation between Calgary, Edmonton, and more using electric vehicles like Tesla. Visit inorbis.ca or call 1-877-601-8747 and mention the promo code TESLAAriel10 to get 10% off your first ride.